इस रिफॉर्म बिल के मूल में जहां भावना भारत सरकार की ये रही है कि किसानों के और बिचौलियों के बीच के संबंध को इस तरह से पुनर्व्यवस्थित किया जाए कि किसान अपनी मेहनत का लाभ स्वयं ले सकें और बिचौलियों को न देना पड़े। भारत सरकार ने एमएसपी बनाए रखने की बात को बार बार दोहराया, पर किसी स्तर पर संप्रेषण में, किसी स्तर पर आपसी समझ में कमी रहने के कारण किसान आंदोलन बहुत लंबे समय तक चलता रहा है। इस बारे में और स्पष्टीकरण देने की दिशा में एक वर्चुअल कार्यक्रम का आयोजन हुआ, जिसमें संबोधित करते हुए इंडियन कॉन्सल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल जी ने जो बातें बताई, उनके कुछ अंश को आप तक पहुंचा रहे हैं।
Without undertaking significant reforms and change some of the old policies, old laws, which were framed when India was deficient in food. Today, India is surplus in food. And therefore, it is important that we remove the bottlenecks that are there in trading of farm produce, bottlenecks which make the Indian trading regime for agricultural produce fragmented. And for that reason, it is important that there is a need for diversification. Use the same land resources for growing high value crops, for doing other things where returns are higher, so on and so forth. On 26 January, while these protesters are sitting there and the protest is largely peaceful, on 26 January, all of you know what happened in Red Fort. People took law in their own hands, and obviously, when you do that, law must take its own course. Another thing very troubling is that people who condemned the actions here on 6th of January in Washington, same people are condoning the action of 26th January in Delhi. So I think this is broadly, these are the issues that come to our mind.
I have a comment. Number one, I think nowhere in the press releases or information released by the government have they categorically stated that an input has been taken from the representative farmers, whether they are just contract farmers receiving subsidy from the government to improve their agricultural conditions, or the owner operator and worker themselves, if they're doing everything together, they're owners, operators, as well as getting the subsidy, that their input has been received. I think there is a dichotomy or a disconnect between what we are seeing on the media versus what the Consul General has clearly said, and we believe you 100%. I think it is important to clear that misunderstanding and document and publicize if a survey has been taken. And if a survey has not been taken, a representative sample, and I'm not sure how you would pick that sample. I think that the validity of that sample has to be honest and representative of the population that is going to be affected the most. As you pointed out, 65% of the farmers are 65% of the occupation in India is farming. So it is hugely important to India. And if there is actually a surplus, and the government, that's the second point I'm making, is saying the MSP will remain the same, then what you're telling the farmers to do is to work twice as hard and give twice the product for the same price, which is not reasonable. Right? I'm very heartened to hear that Gujarat's Amul model and Sudha's model from Bihar is going to be implemented, and they're taking it. And I think highlighting those things and publicizing it in media is going to create a better image. A lot of people in the community in United States at least asked us about this question. We were totally clueless. So thank you so much for sharing this.
If the farmer are independent, okay, and they are doing of their own decision making and they are working for an open market system, everything grows. It is a completely unfortunate that the people who is having no agenda has made a protest and not understanding really into the aim of last 50, 60 years, what the country was suffering. And this is the first time was done, which is why not one country, one market? And so this has given an opportunity for first time to the farmer to go anywhere, everywhere, and somewhere where you make more money, where you make more, value to your product. So this is the first time was done by the government of India, and kudos to the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, who has taken this initiative. And I think this is a negative media which has a concurrent with a divisive force in the country, which is not understanding, and they are not well grounded. So they are somewhere in the air and doing misinformation, and that confusion has to go away. And whatever is done, and I think there is nobody has the protest today in Sindhu border and the Ghazipur border and any border. End of the day, farming is an entrepreneurship. Farming is a business. Farming is not a politics. And I think every one farm across India from north to south, east to west is all united for one thing, that we have to make money, we have to grow together and make a country stronger, because 50% of the economy lies in India is through the farm sector. So why to let this farm sector to be in the backyard? Let's move ahead in the future so that every one farm will be acting as a business sector. And I'm very thankful to the entire parliament to support this kind of thing.